Okay, so this video, this is a little bit backwards, but after I recorded the audio for this video, I kind of bummed myself out with regards to Monkey Island, which you'll hear in the main bulk of this video. And so I actually went and bought it, and yeah, purchased it on Steam, and hence why the gameplay you're now seeing is the remastered Monkey Island. You'll understand when you hear the video. Have a great one, everyone. I know exactly what you want me to talk about. I know. I've decided to talk about Disney selling off Foxnet, but I know deep down what you actually want me to talk about is Kentucky Fried Chicken releasing the dating sim with Colonel Sword as an anime heartthrob. Believe it or not, that is actually a real thing. It's, yeah, 100% of what I just said is true. Look it up. It's terrifying. But at some point, I'm going to have to talk about it. I might do that for just a Friday shits and giggles because it's too good. But anyway, let's get into this article discussing Disney and their selling of Foxnet. So, 20th Century Fox games division is about to be sold, putting games like Marvelstrikeforce, which is the mobile game, and Alien Blackout, which is also, I believe, a mobile game, in jeopardy. Disney has never liked video games. This is true. They experimented a bit in the 90s with the likes of the soon-to-be remastered Aladdin and The Lion King, proving very popular at the time. But as gaming evolved, Disney quickly lost interest. That is you shilling. Disney did not lose interest. Disney lost touch, and that happens very quickly in gaming. If you don't keep your finger down, you can't just rebrand, repackage, and ship it out, unless you're FIFA or any of the sports franchises. But I don't know why the munchkins, the normies, keep eating up that rubbish. But anyway, focus, calm down, let's carry on. Occasionally they publish games themselves, or experimented by having their own in-house developers, but most of the time they just farm out these licenses to other random companies, very much like they do. I think they got like a 10-year deal with EA for Star Wars. Yeah, look how that's turning out. Woo! But it's risk-reward. There's no risk for Disney, so they don't care. They just sell the license to EA, and it's up to EA whether they make a good game or not. There's no backlash onto Disney. The wait for any decent Marvel tie-in on console has gone on seemingly forever, but although that has finally started to happen, it doesn't seem to be translating to anything else. I'm trying to think of a good Marvel game. Maybe the Lego ones? I enjoyed them. Do they count? I don't know. Yeah, I still wait to see. It's like Star Wars. You literally have simple cake ingredients, and you can make an amazing cake, but you seem to add all the cake ingredients and then go, should we add loads of salt in, or should we, why? Just make, it's not difficult. Had you have made, I know, apologies for going off on a rant, but had you made a reskinned Battlefield 4 with Star Wars, would have been probably one of the best games ever made. People would have loved it. Yes, it would have been a lot of nostalgia, because really wouldn't have been anything new, because we played Battlefield 4. It would have felt very familiar, but it would have had Star Wars, and we would have lapped it up and loved it. Instead, you gave us Battlefront and tried to just shove microtransactions down our throat. Calm, grim. Let's continue. Disney acquired Foxnet. 20th Century Fox's 2-year-old game division when they brought everything else about the company, but according to Bloomberg, they've already decided to sell it. And that came from one person and one person only, which is very interesting. Who will buy it, and what will happen to current games, such as the highly successful mobile title, Marvelstrikeforce, which raked in $150 million in its first year, which I think is around £120 million for us Brits. After a mobile game Alien Blackout, Foxnet has also been working on a new Alien-themed shooter, but there's no indication of whether that will survive the sale, which is sad. But I think, if I remember correctly, Predator Hunting Grounds, that's due to be published by Sony as an exclusive, I think, for PlayStation. So that I imagine that would be safe, as that deal's already done and dusted, at least due out next year. So, as usual, this is where we get to who ordered this. It was CEO Bob Iger who made the decision, with other execs arguing to keep Foxnet. We've just decided that it was the best place for us to be in this space is licensing and not publishing. Yes. You want reward with no risk, Bobby. That's what you want. It's worth remembering that Disney also owns LucasArts, acquiring it in a similar accidental fashion as they acquired Foxnet. And all the franchises such as Monkey Island, The Grim Fandango, that they've never shown any interest in doing anything with. And they probably never will. Now, I actually wanted to talk about this as a positive. I'm aware that potentially people are going to lose their jobs and things like that, and I hope to God everything goes well for Foxnet and they're able to find a home and carry on producing games. But it's actually just really bummed me out because I forgot that LucasArts had been acquired by Disney when they bought everything else Lucas related. And to think of games like Monkey Island, The Grim Fandango, just lounging in a corner, dying a sad death because they won't do anything with them, actually makes me sad. Because they were games I loved in my childhood. They were... Oh, God, I lost so many hours to Monkey Island. I really did. And that's kind of bummed me out. It's meant to be a real positive. Now, why am I saying that this is a positive? As I said before, I hope to God everybody at Foxnet keeps their job, and I hope it all goes well for them. But the reason I think this is positive is you only need to look at Disney's practice recently. And this may be a Bob Iger thing. Love him or hate him, I think very much he is an acquirer of things. He just likes buying things rather than creating. And that's where I have positivity in this, because if somebody like Disney have got a developer there, a games developer that has made $150 million in their first year of Marvel Strike Force, they have a track record of, you know, okay, granted, you're going to say they're mobile games, dude. They're mobile games, let's not read too much into it. Look, we all know normies like mobile games, okay? If you can make a mobile game for Aladdin, The Lion King, for Star Wars, for, Jesus, any number of the Disney IPs, they can make money. Not difficult. You know, these are cash cows. They could milk them. Fantastic. You know, that should be exactly what Disney want, but they don't. They're so scared, they ship it out. They go, nope, we're good, actually just sell it. And that says to me, from a company that is all about just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Let's remake everything. Let's remake Aladdin. Let's remake The Lion King. Let's remake Dumbo. Let's remake basically the original Star Wars trilogy, yeah, but you really mucked it up with The Last Jedi. Because we're too terrified that making something new, making a new IP, could fail, and we don't want that. We just want tried and tested, and that is what you can't do with gaming. Yes, there are certain franchises that get away with it, but they have huge legacy, and they started out as something special. They started out evolving, creating, and now, yes, they sit on their laurels. I look at you, Call of Duty. I look at FIFA. I look at generally any EA Sports franchise, let's be honest. And yeah, people buy them, but even with Call of Duty it's very worse. People backlash against it. They go, whoa, don't sit on your laurels. We don't want this. We don't want a reskinned, repackaged, same thing that we got last year. When they started to do that, people bit back. People fought back. And they've had to change it. They've had to evolve. You look at Call of Duty, yes, people are going to say, oh, but they copy this, they copy that. Or, you know, they've copied the Battle Royale thing. They copied Titanfall. They copied things. Okay, yeah. But so does all developers, let's be entirely honest. There's always some idea, some copying. You know, you look at, I think it's Greenfall, is it now? You can go, oh yeah, but that's just a reskin of, you know, Dragon Age. You know, it's not, but you can make those comparisons. But we still, as gamers, hold these companies accountable. We say, look, whoa, this isn't good. You need to do better. And for the most part, they try and do that. Now, what Disney can do with films that they can't do with games is they can make that hype train. They can make it go crazy. They can get all of the shill media to go, whoa, it's going to be incredible. I'm so excited. You can get guys to cry at the trailers when you look at the trailer yourself and go, like, there's nothing exciting here. There's nothing that really sells it to me. And yes, I am talking about Star Wars again. And yes, I was a huge Star Wars fan back in the day. That was my childhood, but it's kind of been ruined now. And yes, I'm bitter. But they can churn out these things. They can get these people to say everything they want. And on the opening weekend, people will pay the money and they will make a huge ton of it. And yes, if it drops off 80%, they don't really care. They made most of their money. And they can get all this media hype to go, this is amazing. Gamers aren't the same as that. We don't generally look at the gaming media and go, yes, we respect you, yes, we believe everything you say, because we had Gamersgate, we went through all of that. So there is skepticism there. So what we tend to do is talk to our friends. We go, what do you think of this? We can watch Twitch, and we can watch other streaming services. Excuse me, we can watch other YouTube videos, and we can look for ourselves whether a game's good. With a film, you can't do that. You don't get access to it until long after they've made their money. That's why it terrifies people like Bob Iger, because it has to be creative, and if it sits on its laurels, eventually we as gamers will go, no, we're not having this. You're not churning out the same dross to us over and over again. And that's why we get things like The Witcher 3. We get things like Cyberpunk. We get things like Planet Zoo. And we get things like Classic WoW come out because the community says this. We say, no, we want this. And we fight for that. And then for that community managed to get Classic WoW, which they said, oh, you think you know what you want, but you don't. No, we'll make you eat those words. And that's the difference between the gaming community and the groups like the Fandom Menace. If you look at those, there's only so much they can do. They can make these protests, they can say this is what we want, but gaming's very different. Generally because there's still some passion left in gaming. I think you look at a lot of those franchises, a lot of the franchises I loved as a kid are dying, sadly. And gaming is the only place where I can think we're still fighting the good fight. There's still people out there making amazing games, and it gives me hope for gaming. Whereas I look at, as I say, those licenses, those IPs that I loved as a kid, and they're dying. And it makes me sad. And it's made me even sadder thinking of Monkey Island and the likes rotting in a dungeon somewhere at Disney with Mickey like, just being a jail guard. But this was meant to be positive. But that's me done, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'm going to go and cry and probably try and find a copy of Monkey Island to play again. But have a great one, everybody, and I'll talk to you all later.
He has an embargo on the island. No ships can sail.